Hi everyone. So today I'm just going to take a little bit of time and talk about my alopecia journey and like finding wigs and how to find one that's right for you and how that can evolve. It doesn't always have to be the same. So I was diagnosed with alopecia areata when I was 2 years old. I was born with a full head of hair, and that all fell out by the time I was 14 months. So I guess under two. I rocked a mohawk for a while as a baby, but I got my first wig in kindergarten. And after that, all of my wigs had to be exactly the same. I remember having so much stress and anxiety, not knowing like what those feelings were, but having those feelings in middle school, high school, when the hair didn't look the same, when the cap didn't fit the same, when the cap construction wasn't the same. And these all came from the same company, and the color wasn't the same. And I remember having breakdowns. Like I emotionally could not handle when they didn't look the same. And, at the time, I already mentioned, but at the time I couldn't pinpoint what those emotions were, but now I know it was a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress that someone was going to notice that it was different. And guess what? No one ever did. Um, so really, I had a lot of trauma getting wigs as a child, because I put so much pressure on myself for them to look exactly the same, and I wanted them to look exactly the same. I was brunette, and I had side bangs, and I had a side part, and that was it. But it wasn't really until I was older, I would say after college, that it really didn't bother me anymore. And there were a lot of things in place in my life that helped me. For example, I was in a really stable relationship. By that time, I was already engaged to my now husband. So, we were living a really stable life. I had a really great relationship. I still do, with my parents, and my friends are my friends and they understand and that kind of thing. So I was at a point in my life where I could experiment with wigs and I could go out of my comfort zone and feel okay with that. And not everyone's okay with that. And I get that. I was there. That was me in middle school, in high school, in college. And it wasn't until these things like fell into place that I was okay to try different things. And really that's when I found Folia, which is the company that I mostly wear now. They were a different, to me, one of the biggest things was cap construction. I wasn't used to something else. I wanted what I knew. I wanted what I could handle. I wanted what was familiar. So they had a totally different cap construction. And my mom wanted me to try them earlier on, and I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to give up what was familiar. But when I did reach that point, they were one of the first companies that I reached out to, ended up working with, and I've had nothing but great experiences. Now, this video is not to like boost them. This is not, not to just like sell you them, but just to say that there's a place and time when you're going to be ready for something else, and to, don't just write off companies and wigs that you'd seen in the past and you weren't ready at the time, but maybe you're ready now, like go back and give them a try. And honestly, it was one of the best things I ever did. They have the best hair quality I've ever seen. This is one of their wigs. As well as the cap construction is so comfortable, and in high school and in college, I wanted something that had tape, had adhesive, something when I was playing sports, when I was sleeping over people's houses, I wanted that security. And while you can use that with the Folias, you don't have to. Where the company I was wearing before, you had to. So now that I don't have to, I don't need that. There's so much more diversity. I feel so much more free. I have wigs in so many different colors. This is just my newest one and I'm in love with it. But I have a blonde wig, I have a different brown wig, and I switch between them. Sometimes I even forget, I was at the doctor. I'm at the doctor all the time now that I'm pregnant, but I forget what wig I was wearing. Like, will they recognize me? Like, I have no idea, but it doesn't bother me anymore, where it used to really bother me. So this is all to say that there's going to be a time in your life where you feel okay experimenting with wigs. It doesn't have to be now. It doesn't have to be next year. It could be in 10 years. But when that happens, find different companies and find different things that look good to you. Watch these review videos, watch videos on different wigs and see what you think is going to suit you best. And don't be scared to go out of your comfort zone. I think the minute I did that, I feel so much better, so much stronger as a person. I feel like I know myself more now than I ever did before. And that's just embracing alopecia and embracing being bald. So I encourage all of you to embrace it when you're ready. There's really no rush. Embrace it and have fun with it, because at the end of the day, if you're not having fun with it, what's the point? You're just going to be miserable. So the more fun you can have, the better.